Okay, so hello my dear students. So welcome to our discussion for or the continuation of our discussion for state taxation. So previously we have discussed uh, the rules and taxation rules in computation of a state tax due of an unmarried resident. Now, by this time, for week 4 to 5, now we shall be discussing taxation rules in computation of state tax due of a married resident. Okay? So, before we'll proceed with the discussion of the computation of the state tax due of a married resident, we shall determine muna uh, the rules no in the determination for gross state of a married resident. No, so yung gross state of a married resident shall depend on the system of property relationship governing the spouses, which may be either absolute community of property, so pwede rin conjugal partnership of gains, pwede complete separation of property, and any other regime. No, so what are the rules no in determining the property relationship? So first is that if there is an agreement, so ma-follow ang agreement. No, if there is a prenuptial agreement, no, so yun ang i-follow. However, if there was no prenuptial agreement and the date of marriage took place before August 3, 1988, then i-follow is conjugal partnership of gains. And then if the marriage took place after August 3, 1988, no, then ang i-follow is absolute community. So, ma-follow lang ito na rule if there was no prenuptial agreement. However, if you'll be getting married no, after August 1988, so it doesn't mean na hindi ka na pwede mag-choose ng conjugal partnership of gains. Magiging absolute community lang siya if there is no prenuptial agreement. Okay? So, if walang prenuptial agreement, pagdepende siya sa date no or the date of marriage na took place. Okay? So let's start with the conjugal partnership of gains. So Article 106, under the regime of conjugal partnership of gains, the husband and wife place in common fund the proceeds, product, fruits, and income from their separate properties and those acquired by either or both spouses through their efforts or by chance, and upon the dissolution of the marriage or of the partnership, the net gains and benefits obtained by either or both spouses shall be divided equally between them unless otherwise agreed in the marriage settlement. Okay? So, needless to say, all the properties acquired during marriage and all income, whether income ng separate property and income ng common properties, will be considered a conjugal properties. Consider siya na conjugal, okay? All property acquired during the marriage, whether the acquisition appears to have been made, contracted, or registered in the name of one or both spouses, is presumed to be conjugal unless the contrary is proved, okay? So, what are the exclusive property of each spouse? No? So, ano yung exclusive property? So, the following items form part of the exclusive property of each spouse. First, that which is brought to the marriage as his or her own. No? So, meaning to say, all property, no? So, kung sabi saya pa, ang gidala nimo sa kaminyoon, no? So, will remain no as your exclusive property, no? So, yung property mo before marriage would still be exclusive property, no? So that which each acquires during the marriage by gratuitous title through pure liberties in donation, intestate, or intestate succession. So if ever during the marriage, yung spouse maka-receive siya ng property by way of donation or succession, or yun nga, by gratuitous title, shall be considered exclusive property. That which is acquired by right of redemption, by barter, or by exchange with property belonging to only one of the spouse. No? So if may barter, exchange, or na property, so if imong gi-barter is exclusive, ang mandawat po din is exclusive. Okay? So that which is purchased with exclusive money of the husband of the wife. So, if ang i-purchase is exclusive money ng husband or wife, then the property purchase would be exclusive. Okay, so what are the conjugal properties? No, so under conjugal partnership gains, the conjugal properties are those acquired by onerous title during the marriage at the expense of the common fund, whether the acquisition be for the partnership or for only one of the spouses. So take note that this is onerous, no? So kasi pag gratuitous title during marriage, 'di ba, exclusive 'yun. However, pag onerous acquisition siya or uh, hindi siya gratuitous acquisition, then part siya ng conjugal properties. Second, those obtained from the labor, industry, work, or profession of either or both of the spouses. Okay, so ang income mo from your labor, industry, or work or profession, consider siya as conjugal, no, between the husband and the wife. The fruits, natural, industrial, or civil due or received during the marriage from the common property, as well as the net proceeds from exclusive property of each spouse. So I've said kanina, yung income, whether income siya ng exclusive property or income ng common property, will always be conjugal property, no, under conjugal partnership of gains. Okay? So the share of the spouse in the hidden treasure, which the law awards to the finder or owner, where the treasure is found, so maging conjugal siya. Those acquired through occupation, such as fishing or hunting. So, conjugal yon. Livestock existing upon the dilution of the partnership in excess of number of each kind brought to marriage by either spouse. And lastly, those which are acquired by chance, meaning such as winning from gambling or betting, no? So, kung pag winning, no, so kung daog ka, conjugal. However, if pili ka, however, losses therefrom shall be borne exclusively by the loser spouse. Okay. So that's conjugal partnership of gains. Now let's have absolute community, no? So the absolute community of property between spouses starts from the time the marriage is celebrated. So it cannot be modified during the marriage, hence any agreement must be done prior to the contracting the marriage. So under the regime, all properties owned by the spouse before the marriage and those they acquired during the marriage shall form part of the absolute community and shared equally, no, by the husband and wife, no. So yung property mo before marriage, no, kasi nga sa conjugal partnership of gains, yung before marriage would remain exclusive. However, dito sa absolute community, yung property mo before marriage, no, will form part as part of the community property, no, in the absolute community of property na regime. Okay? Yan. But what are the exclusive property of each spouse? No, kasi may exemption naman din yung lahat ng property maging part ng communal property, no, or community property. So ito yung exclusive property lang. So exclusive property of each spouse, as a general rule, any property acquired during a marriage is presumed to belong to the community unless it is shown that is excluded in the following. Okay, so ito yung mga exemption. So ito yung exclusive property. Property acquired during marriage by gratuitous title, such as by way of donation or inheritance, unless a donor, testator, or grantor provides that they shall form part of the community property. So if one of the spouses inherited a property during the marriage, his or future spouse will not co-own that property as well as the fruits and income therefrom. Okay? So ito yung kaibahan, no? Ito yung kaibahan, no? Sa absolute community and conjugal partnership of gains. Kasi yung income sa exclusive property. Kasi sa conjugal partnership of gains, all income kay considered conjugal. But here in absolute community, parang ano siya mag-parallel. If the income is If the property is exclusive, the income is also exclusive. If the property is communal, the income is also communal. Yan siya. So, same thing, then no, with conjugal partnership of gains, any property na na-inherit mo during marriage, no, shall be considered pa rin as part of the exclusive property, no? Property inherited or acquired by gratuitous title, no, during marriage is exclusive property, no. Therefore, if may property na acquire ka, no, may property na acquire ka by gratuitous title before marriage, since you brought that property, no, into marriage, ma-communal yan siya. Pag property acquired by gratuitous title before marriage. However, pag during marriage, exclusive yan, no? As well as ang income, no? Kasi exclusive ang property, exclusive din yung income. Okay? Personal property for personal and exclusive use of either spouses, no? Such as yung gamit na panglalaki at gamit ng pambabae, no? That would be exclusive property of each spouse. However, jewelry is not considered excluded under this, no? Hence it is part of the communal property or the community property. Okay? Yan siya. So yung jewelry, no? Especially yung mga earrings, necklaces ng wife, hindi siya ma-consider na exclusive property but rather than community property. Okay? Property acquired before the marriage, if the acquiring party has illegitimate descendants, children, grandchildren by a former marriage, the fruits and income of such property are also excluded. No? So, ito siya. So, if may property acquired ka before the marriage, kasi diba, all property na acquired mo before and during marriage shall be considered community part of the community property. No? But if may previous marriage ka, no? May previous marriage and may property ka na na-acquire, no? From your previous marriage, no? Then you bought it to the current marriage, no? And you have illegitimate descendants sa previous marriage or former marriage, no? Ma-consider siya as exclusive property, no? So, yun, as well as the fruit and income, no? Kasi if the property is exclusive, then the income is also exclusive. Okay? Next, yun yung communal property or part of the community property. Unless provided in the family code or in the marriage settlements, the communal property shall consist of all the property owned by the decedent, owned by the spouses at the time of the celebration of the marriage or acquired thereafter. So, property acquired during marriage is presumed to belong to the community unless it's proved that it's one of those excluded therefrom. Okay, so yung property, no, under absolute community, all property owned before owned before marriage and acquired during marriage shall form part in the community property unless, no, part sa exclusive property, no, which is naka-enumerate naman dito. Okay? Yan siya. Okay, so we have here the summary of rules, no? So, if yung property acquire mo before marriage, pag gratuitous before marriage. So, kasi sa conjugal partnership of gains, exclusive, sa absolute community, communal. Kasi na-acquire mo man ito previous marriage. Na-acquire mo man ito before marriage. So, sa absolute community kasi is owned before, no? Marriage or acquired before marriage will form part na in a communal property. No? So, pag only rule, same din. exclusive for conjugal partnership and sa absolute community is communal. Okay? Pero, yung exemption kanina na where the spouse has illegitimate descendants from a previous marriage, no? So, assuming na pangalawang marriage niya na ito, then may legitimate descendants siya sa previous marriage, then the property would be exclusive for both regime. No? Yan. Pag property acquired during marriage, pag during marriage, pag gratuitous title, that's both exclusive for conjugal, CPG, and absolute or ACOP, absolute community. No, yun siya. Of property relationship. Yan. Pag onerous title, ano na yan siya, conjugal under conjugal partnership of means and communal under absolute community. Pag in exchange of exclusive property, so if ang ka-exchange mo or ka-barter exclusive, ang ma-receive po din is exclusive. Pag in exchange of conjugal or community property, pag the exchange mo is conjugal, ang ma-receive mo is also conjugal. If ang receive mo is communal, ay if ang exchange mo is communal, then ang ma-receive mo din is communal. Yun siya. So, fruits or income from exclusive property. Pag exclusive property, pag conjugal, sa conjugal partnership gains, ang income is always conjugal. However, sa absolute community, as what I've said kanina, mag-parallel siya. So, if the property is exclusive, then exclusive din yung income. Okay? Yan. Fruits or income from conjugal community property or fruits or income sa conjugal under conjugal right of gains on community property and in absolute community. So, ano siya? Conjugal under conjugal right of gains and communal under absolute community. So, yung naka-highlight na naka-yellow, yun yung difference lang between the two, no? Yun yung difference. Kasi, same ito, same ganito sa letter A. Pag gratuitous, diba, na-acquire mo siya before marriage, kasi under conjugal partnership of gains, exclusive yon kasi you brought that property, no, as exclusive property, no, before the marriage. However, pag property acquired before marriage na gratuitous title, all property owned before marriage shall form part of the communal property na kasi. No? And yung onerous title naman, yun, kasi na-own mo siya before marriage, so conjugal right of gains exclusive pa din. Pag absolute community din, ano siya, communal na. Ito din, ito yung different, isa sa mga differences din within the two system, ang income ng exclusive property. Kasi sa conjugal, part of gains, all income is conjugal. However, sa absolute community, if exclusive ang property, exclusive din yung income. Okay? So, we have here an example. I'll present some example. Okay, so ito yung illustration natin. We have here yung property ni Aldo, no, who died. Yung properties niya. And yung requirement lang man ito is to determine the classification of property, whether exclusive siya or conjugal under conjugal part of gains, or in absolute community naman, exclusive ba siya or part of the communal or community property or communal property ba siya, no? So, we'll have each property na i-classify natin for conjugal part of gains and absolute community. Okay? So, we have letter A, real property in Baguio City brought into marriage. No? So, real property brought by Aldo, no, into marriage. So, sa conjugal partnership of gains, kung brought into marriage, then exclusive siya. So, kung idala naman sa kami yun, so ma-form part siya, would still be exclusive, no. Pero pag absolute community, all properties owned before marriage ma-form part na siya sa community property. So, communal na siya if absolute community. Okay? Next naman, income from real property in Baguio. Sa conjugal part of gains, income is always conjugal. Always yan. So whether exclusive on property or conjugal on property, income is conjugal. Okay? However, sa absolute community, yun siya, di ba mag-parallel. If ang property is communal, then communal din yung income niya. Okay? So, next, real property in Cebu City brought into marriage by wife. Okay? So, if conjugal part of gains, since brought into marriage by wife, yan siya, that's exclusive property, no? Exclusive property of the wife. So, you take note that yung gross state natin is exclusive property plus conjugal or communal property. Yun yung gross state natin. So, sa conjugal part of gain, since exclusive property yan ni wife, it will not form part in the gross estate. Okay? Kasi the gross state includes the exclusive property of the decedent plus the community or the conjugal property. So, in this case, wala siya sa conjugal part of gain. However, sa absolute community, ito yung property na brought into marriage by wife will form part of the communal property. No? Yan siya. Under conjugal part of gains, hindi siya included. No? Kasi exclusive yan ni wife. Letter D naman. Okay, letter D. Income of real property in Cebu City. Okay, so yung income in related to C. No? Yan siya. Related income. So, sa conjugal part of gains, income is always conjugal. Though exclusive yun ni wife yung property, then exclusive pa rin yung conjugal yung income. No? So, although exclusive yung property, conjugal yung income. However, sa absolute community, so since communal yung property, communal din yung income. Okay? Next, we have letter E. House in Pili, Camarines Sur acquired by Aldo during marriage. No? So, all property acquired during marriage, no, whether conjugal partnership of gains or absolute community. So, if di naka-mention if it's onerous or gratuitous, then it's onerous. So, conjugal, under conjugal part of gains, and absolute community, uncommunal sa absolute community. Okay? However, ang income ato, income is always conjugal under conjugal part of gains, and since the property is communal, then communal yung income under absolute community. Okay, so we have real property in Iloilo City earned by wife during marriage. Of course, ang ma-earn whether ma-earn during marriage, whether kay husband or kay wife, na-consider siya as part of the conjugal properties under conjugal parties of gains and communal property under absolute community. Then, ang income-related income ato, no, would be conjugal under conjugal part of gains, and then community property under absolute community since communal din yung property. Next, we have tangible personal property in Manila inherited by Aldo during marriage. So, pag ma-inherit during marriage, same yan siya, no? For both conjugal parts of gains and absolute community, pag ma-inherit during marriage, as always, exclusive. Same yan siya, no? Lahat ng property ma-acquire mo during marriage, gratuitous title, exclusive siya under two system, no? However, ang income ato, no, So, ang income atong properties in Manila na inherited ni Alto during marriage kasi ang income is always conjugal under conjugal partnership means. However, sa absolute community, since the property is exclusive din yung income. So, isa ito sa difference ng absolute community and conjugal partnership gains, ang income ng exclusive property, no? Kasi sa conjugal partnership gains, ang income is always conjugal. However, sa absolute community, mag-parallel. If the property is exclusive, so exclusive din yung income. Okay? Yan. Ito, letter K. Intangible personal properties in Singapore inherited by wife during marriage. So pag na-inherit ng wife during marriage, exclusive siya ni wife. So under both system, exclusive siya ni wife. All properties and inherited during marriage form part in the exclusive property under conjugal partnership gains and absolute community. So it shall not form part in a gross state, no, for both system. However, ang income ato, no, income kasi is always conjugal, no, so part siya sa conjugal property under conjugal partnership gains. However, sa absolute community, since the income is exclusive, since the property is exclusive din yung income niya, 'di ba? So, exclusive yun ni wife ang income ng property of na inherit ni wife during marriage kasi exclusive yun. Okay, let's have letter M. Letter M na tayo. Tangible personal property in Dagupan City inherited by Aldo before marriage. So, na-inherit ni Aldo before marriage. It's a exclusive property, no? Kasi na-acquire mo man siya before marriage. So, exclusive siya under conjugal partnership gains. Then, sa absolute community is communal property. So, all property owned before marriage shall form part in the communal property na under absolute community. So, yan. However, ang income na property, ang income ato, letter N, no? Income is always conjugal under conjugal partnership gains, and then since the property is part of the communal property, then or the community property, then the income is also communal. Letter O, intangible personal property in the Dagupan City inherited by wife before marriage. So, since before marriage ito, so letter O, no? So before marriage siya, so exclusive siya ni wife, diba? So, hindi siya mag-form part sa gross state under conjugal partnership gains. However, sa absolute community, all property owned before marriage shall form part in the communal property. Okay? And lastly, ang income nun, so, in conjugal partnership gains, even if the property is exclusive, communal pa rin yung income. However, in the absolute community, no, the income is part of the communal property kasi communal yung property niya, no? Yung income related ng property, basta communal din yung income. Okay? If the property is communal yung income. Okay, so ito siya. Okay, so under conjugal partnership of gains, so all exclusive property are 820,000. Sa conjugal partnership of gains, 1,170,000. However, the gross estate nito, so ang gross estate niya, i-add mo lang yung exclusive property plus conjugal property. Sa absolute community naman, the exclusive properties are 675,000 and the communal property is 1,820,000. So again, the gross estate is the sum of the exclusive property and the part of the communal property. So yung yung gross estate ng decedent is yung exclusive property niya plus the conjugal property or communal property ng husband and wife. Okay, so that ends for our lecture. So thank you for uh, watching the discussion.